Snyder Hill BLM, a free campsite when visiting the Tucson area. Our review is next on Plan B RV.
Good morning. We are at Snyder Hill near Tucson. This is BLM land about 4 miles from the Saguaro National Park west. We'll be here maybe a week or more doing some Tucson things. There we are, tucked over there.
To get to Snyder Hill from Tucson, travel west on Highway 86, also known as Ajo Way. You can travel to either the Camino Verde stoplight on the east side of the site or to San Joaquin stoplight, which is on the west side of the site. Access to Snyder Hill would either be from San Joaquin on the west side or Old Ajo Highway from the north. We do see people staying on the north side of Old Ajo Highway. I don't know if that's appropriate or not. To stay safe, I would stay on the south side of the road so that you're sure you're on BLM land, or do your own research to see what lands, other lands in the area are appropriate to stay on. Site conditions at Snyder Hill are generally very busy. We've stayed here a couple of times, and there didn't seem to ever be a time where there weren't a lot of people staying in the area. That kind of goes hand in hand with its location being so close to Tucson. You can generally find a spot, but the spaces are just going to be closer than what we would normally expect at a BLM campground. The types of people that you'll encounter at Snyder Hill can vary quite a bit. When we arrived in 2023, there was a rally scheduled to be in the area later that week, and people were meeting early at Snyder Hill. And so there were a lot of RVs in the area when we got there. All the people were very nice, of course, because they were all there to meet each other, and it was a pretty good sense of community. There's also, at the other end of the spectrum, you'll have a lot of homeless people who are living in tents or living in their vehicles on site. We did have one staying particularly close to us. Didn't have any issues at all. He minded his business, we minded ours, and there weren't any issues. There was another gentleman who was staying in a tent up on Snyder Hill itself, who the middle of one afternoon got into some sort of altercation on his cell phone with a friend or family member and was shouting expletives from the top of the hill and echoing around the site. So you do see kind of all kinds here, and that's something that's something you need to take into consideration. We have also encountered a lot of broken glass in the area. It seems like that a lot of it's been cleaned up since we stayed at the site back in 2021, but that's something to keep in mind as well. Also, the site is close to the highway, and you will get some road noise during the day. Traffic tends to be fairly light at night, so that doesn't cause too much of a problem.
Petrified National Park.
Being close to a major city like Tucson, it's easy to assume that it's going to be easy to get your shopping and utilities nearby, and that is in fact the case. We got our water and propane from Old Town Horse and Pet, which is on Highway 86, just a mile or so east of Snyder Hill. The staff there was very friendly and accommodating, and the prices seemed to be fair. They also had pet supplies there if you need any, and they also provide a pet grooming service. They do charge for the water there, and we frequently were showing up and getting 60 gallons. I forget what the exact price is, but like a lot of places that charge for water, it's very, very negligible, and we were happy to pay to have water that we could access that close to our camping spot. The location of Snyder Hill is its obvious strong point, being close to Tucson. A lot of entertainment points of interest are within reasonable travel distance. We made multiple visits to Saguaro National Park, particularly the west unit. The park has two halves. It has an east half on the east side of Tucson and a west portion on the west side of Tucson. And the west side has a more dense saguaro cactus forest, and generally I think would be preferred for that reason, though both sides feature the pristine, beautiful Sonoran Desert. We took a couple hikes in the area, and it's a place where you can get a lot of fantastic sunset pictures. We also visited Catalina State Park on a Saturday, which we would highly recommend, because on Saturday mornings there is a wildlife program put on within the park for no extra money than the cost of the park entry itself. And at this program, you and your kids can see, and in some cases even hold, various species of wildlife that can be found in the Arizona desert, different kinds of snakes, and even scorpions and Gila monsters, though you don't get to hold the Gila monster.
We got that big old watch in there. We know whose hand this is.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get that watch. What time is it?
Time to let me go. He is pinching you. Ow.
Oh, yeah.
Make him
Oh,
unpinch?
it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
It's just a little pinch. Oh, let go. I'm going to lose my leg.
Ouch.
Okay, just let him kind of wrap around you. Good job, that's perfect. Yeah.
We're at the air show at the air base in Tucson, Arizona. Seeing a lot of cool stuff. And the Thunderbirds. You kids having fun?
Yeah. There you go. Okay, now let go.
And if you happen to be visiting Snyder Hill in late March, you might catch the Thunder and Lightning over Arizona Air Show at the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. We were lucky enough to be able to attend and see the Thunderbirds perform, which was fantastic, because this is something I'd been wanting to expose our kids to for a couple of years. We were very grateful that we had the opportunity for our kids to be able to finally see an air show. Here's a few highlights of the show itself. Overall, we really enjoyed our stay at Snyder Hill. It's a great spot, a great free location for visiting the Tucson area. And you get quick access to most of the town, to shopping, either in Tucson itself, or there is some shopping just a couple miles to the south of the campsite as well. There are even some specialty shops you can visit, like we visited the REI while we were in town. Generally, the site is much more crowded than we would prefer, and you do have to be aware of your neighbors, but it's all worth it for the great location that this free spot offers.
It's our last morning at Snyder Hill in Tucson. We are going to go north of Tucson to Marana, north? No, kind of west. And on towards Phoenix Way from Tucson, but still in the Tucson area. Check out Marana. There's a BLM up there called Pump Station Road that has a ton of good reviews and looks like a neat place to be. So we're gonna go stay there for a few nights.